It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? This is the only Survivor podcast. My name is Jake Scheidel. Each week I ask my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. I am snowed in right now. As I told Jake before we started recording,
my best friend Edward Snowden.
Yeah, that's right. I am currently I've absconded to, where is he now? I think he's in South America, somewhere that doesn't have extradition. But anyway, West Michigan has gotten 23 inches of snow in the past 3 days, so it's a little rough out here right now.
It's pretty cold here too. Here in Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Wind is about, he's only 30.
He was just reelected,
wow.
I heard, so he's celebrating.
Remember that guy named Kim.com?
Yes, I do remember Kim.com.
What a name.
He was like a party rave guy, right? Who was also in like Republican politics or something.
I don't know. Google just recommended I look that person up after I Googled Edward Snowden. Reaction, Jewel versus NSA, bibliography in popular culture. See also notes, references, further reading, external links. So this is what Thomas is all about. Oh, Thomas, congratulations on getting your own Wikipedia page. You've done a lot, turns out.
I finally made it. I can't believe it took this long, but finally my accomplishments are being recognized.
Yeah, finally getting the recognition this podcast deserves. It says here, telecommunication companies. Yeah, like the podcast. Cultural discussion. A podcast about Survivor.
Talking about Survivor, that's culture right there.
Yep. Passport revoked. Thomas, do you have a passport?
Well, it was revoked because I have never gotten one.
Yeah, so, exactly. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's news, but apparently they felt the need to highlight that.
You married Lindsay Mills in 2017.
I didn't want to break the news this way, but now that it's out there.
I mean, it's on your Wikipedia page. And then in the Nordic countries, the FBI demanded that Nordic countries arrest you should he visit their country. Have you been to any Nordic? No, of course not, because you don't have a passport.
Also, talking about my marriage coming out this way, you could call that a wiki leak.
Ew. So it's snowy in Chicago. It's even snowier in the city of Grand Rapids.
It's snowdier here.
It's snowdier in Grand Rapids than in Chicago. It's the snowdiest in Buffalo, though. You seen pictures of Buffalo, New York?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We get a lot of snow here, but not like that.
The Buffalo's wings won't help them out of this snow.
Yeah, they should fly. They don't even have to take the roads.
Yeah. So we were joking around at a Friendsgiving last night, and we were talking about outdoor cats and whether or not they should go outside at certain times of the year. And somebody was saying, oh, well, they shouldn't because sometimes they'll come after songbirds and kill them. And I said, well, that sounds like the birds' fault. The birds have wings. I can't feel bad about that.
Yeah, they're at an advantage. Honestly, it's unfair to the cats. So
yeah,
I'm sorry that they want to stomp all over the perseverance and achievement of fine citizens like Francis.
Yeah, I'm proud of the cat for going after a bird and succeeding.
Do you think Francis could get a bird right now? Do you think she's capable of that?
I think Francis,
old age.
I think Francis could get these hands.
Okay. That's not the direction I thought this was going to go, but yeah, you're threatening to fight cat. Francis. Francis was trying to be a guest on the podcast, and Jake didn't take too kindly to that.
Yeah, she cried at me until I let her in the closet. That is the recording studio in our new home, and she sat at my feet staring up at me, and I said, do you want to come up here? And she meowed at me as if to say no, and then after a while she walked out, and I closed the door.
She just was annoyed that you weren't letting her go in. That's the most cat thing. It's like, I didn't even want to go in, but you didn't let me.
Cats are like when a dude asks somebody out in like middle school and then is like, I actually didn't even like you. You're gross and ugly when they are turned down.
I just thought I was being nice to you. I was doing it to be nice.
And I thought it would be
this
funny.
is good. I didn't even want to.
I'm actually a good guy. Speaking of good guys, a lot of them on the Survivor this season. Thomas, did you watch Survivor 43 last night?
Feline in my hair looking like a chia pet, and you know they getting green if a flower on their neck.
I sure did, Jake.
And what a season it's been. This week's episode was called, What About the Big Girls? What about the big girls?
What about them?
What about them? Well, let's talk about it. Sammy doesn't want to take out Janine. Didn't want to take out Janine, I should say. And he wants to work with Owen now. I feel like every scene with Sammy is like him being like, oh, I didn't want to do this, but now I'm working with this person.
And being like, I'm playing really hard. I'm actually playing really hard right now.
He's like the guy at a gym who is like sprinting on the treadmill and like stomping in his work boots when everybody else is just like going for a light jog to get a nice sweat on, you know, before work in the morning.
Yeah, he is performatively playing Survivor.
Yeah. And to be fair, he is on a TV show.
Yeah, it's all about reality TV is its own performance if you think about it. So Sammy really...
And Sammy has a lot of experience performing
right
in front of crowds, of course. Tune in to our later segment, Sammy, don't call him Zane. It's a big one this week. Owen is mad that James wasn't honest with him. And James says, if you break trust with James, you go home. What did you think of that line?
It sounded pretty confident to me.
Yes,
also,
indeed.
break trust how? I mean, I guess he voted for him, but like...
But then since then, he's voted with him, right?
Yeah, he tried to regain that trust.
Yeah, I think sometimes people just like to be mad to be mad.
I think so on this show. I think sometimes it's like you're more motivated by holding a grudge, so you just do that instead of doing the smart thing.
Yeah, which is interesting, I guess. I just don't follow it. Like, it couldn't be me, you know, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we'll get to the dispute between the two of them.
What did you think of this immunity and reward challenge where they had to hold a bar that holds a ball up on a track above their head?
Loved it. I love that they had a bowling ball. More challenges should involve bowling balls falling on things.
100%. Oh my god, what if they had like one of those like plates, those like ceramic plates that they'll often smash in challenges? So that when you're out, it would just...
I want them to be holding up a thing that falls on a thing and either like they get slimed, which I know that they can do because Nickelodeon is a subsidiary of Viacom.
Yeah.
So like they could slime them and they should slime them.
Yeah.
And or like a plate breaks or something like that. Like the only thing that that would have made this challenge better is if the bowling ball had fallen onto something and broken it.
100%. It has 2 winners and 2 tribal councils. They're broken up into 2 different tribes again, even though we were just in tribes.
I always forget that they do this right before Thanksgiving. Every single time they have a fall season, I'm just like, what? 2 tribal councils? They've never done this before.
It's like I'm watching this show twice.
Yeah, it's 2 episodes for the price of 1.
The winners will also receive PB&J. Were you furious when they got PB&J sandwiches?
I was a little annoyed, but you know, I've played this game long enough to know that these things happen.
Yeah. Gobble Gobbler says, "Come on, big boys," near the end of the challenge, and that's when Carla says, "What about the big girls, huh?" Pretty good line from Carla.
Good point. I only had one, beyond liking the challenge, I only had one real takeaway from it, and I'm curious to see if you also noticed this. So when they were coming in, Jeff did like a voice. Did you notice that?
I don't know. I don't think I did, but I also missed when he did.
He tried to do like a performance voice as he was like, "See the challenge that sits before you," or something like that. And he tried to do like a fancy voice. And I was like, Jeff, what are you doing?
I completely missed that.
That's just wondering if that character is going to come back at any point. Are we going to get fancy Jeff?
Well, remember when he told us that you always drink champagne before war or something in a British accent? We never saw the return of that character either.
It's so funny, Jeff. It's like you have such a distinctive voice. You don't need to do a voice at people. What if he did the Tim Robinson voice? What if he was like, you wore that buff yesterday?
I would love...
Don't do the voice.
I would love to see Jeff Probst just like doubled over on top of the urn at Tribal Council and just be like, I'm just like the tiredest I've ever been. Slowly eating a hot dog out of his button down.
Yeah. Don't let one bad challenge ruin your life.
So Carla and Cody win immunity. Very exciting stuff. We like both of them.
I did like, they did a good fake out during that challenge when it was down to Ryan and Cody, where they showed Cody's, I think it was like his, it was probably his traps that were like twitching.
Thirst traps?
Yeah. Where like they just like the zoom in on his arm like muscles twitching as he was holding it up. I was like, ooh.
It's called building drama,
He's going to
baby.
break any second now. And then they zoomed in on his ball and they pulled out. And then you saw Ryan's fall. And I was like, oh, classic editing trick. They got me.
They got me again.
Cody's a beast for these endurance challenges.
Yeah, Cody is very strong, and I love him. I think he's good, and I want to see him succeed. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Did you pick him?
We'll get to predictions later.
Okay. All right. Yep. There's important things happened.
So over at the winners camp, Goobler and Ryan target Cassidy. What did you think of this?
I mean, I was hopeful about it. It made sense to me.
I don't like them always targeting the women, you know? Survivor 43, very anti-woman, Jeff. I don't care how many performative theater kid voices you put on. Just because
Are they always targeting the women? That didn't really happen this episode.
Look at the boot order, Thomas. Look at the order of the boots, like Italy. Italy is shaped like a boot, and we were talking about Italy earlier.
I'll have to check the
check the boot order.
The Italy shaped list to see.
You ever hear the statistic that's like, if you're in a group of men, of like 4 men, and there's 2 women, the men are going to think it's half women, or something along those lines, and if it's half and half, men are going to assume there's more women or something.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That's this season of Survivor, and this is what you are saying.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. You're like, what is a woman? I think
this is more my general lack of attentiveness than any, but who knows? Maybe it's a time for self-reflection.
I love that the only thing you're paying attention to is Jeff's silly voices, and I, meanwhile, pay attention to everything else so we can fill each other in.
That's right. Perfect complementary relationship.
We really cover the whole show.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember anything that happened, but I do remember that Jeff did a voice, like really went for it on a voice one time. And immediately failed.
Thomas, I have to tell you, we have we're in the midst of wedding planning over here in Chicago, you know. Mr. Wynn's helping out, forcing us to stay inside, so we have to do that. It's super windy these days and cold. He's gearing up for the mayoral election next year, so he's just reminding us all he's there. What was I talking about? Oh, we started doing the seating chart. Do you want to hear who all is at our seating chart? Our table?
Yes, I would love to hear that.
Ideally, you know, potentially not everybody will say yes, but
Jeff Probst he'll be there. He'll be officiating the wedding.
So it'll be me and my brand new wife. She's not brand new. She's an adult.
Not like your stupid old wife.
Not my stupid old wife, like the lady from The Shining. Remember that? That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, you traded that lady. You traded your old wife in like a phone.
Yeah, I brought her into the mechanic shop and was like, I need a new one. And they said, a car? And I said, yes, please. And I drove away in a brand new car. They just gave it up, and I left my old wife there. Joke's on
crazy,
them.
Yeah.
Now she's their problem.
The supply chain issues with these wives, it's the resale value is really high on them right now.
So it's me and my hot new wife, and you and your plus one, and my hot new wife's friend and her plus one. And the final 2 seats are the people who are invited are Jeff Probst and TJ Lavin.
All right, let's get them there.
And if they happen to bring plus ones, they're going to have to sit with some random family members. Sorry.
I wonder if you're going to get, at the very least, I hope that you get like a polite note of being like, well, I wish I could attend, because one of our friends invited George W. Bush to their wedding, and they got a very polite note back of just being like, sorry, I couldn't make it.
Yeah, I feel like George Bush is not going to be at our wedding. Speaking of Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's reassuring. I was afraid I was going to run into him there.
So Cody denies knowing that he's going to do what? Cody denies knowing what he's going to do. Oh, I missed a word in that sentence. Okay. Cody denies knowing what he's going to do. Clearly a lie. But, you got to do what you got to do. Cassidy wants to stick with Jess and Cody, and then Cassidy gets her own sob story. Interesting with the sob stories this season. It used to mean, if somebody was really focused on, back in the day, this person's out. And then, now it's like, either this person's out, or this person wins immunity, or they're just a target and they don't get kicked out. So it's good. Good job editing, guys. Gold star to the editors.
Yeah, they're really doing yeoman's work this season.
Don't know what that means.
Look it up. How about you read a damn book?
Fuck. Okay, so I've just heard about this website. It's called Google. It's free. Did you know that?
Oh, okay. I gotta search some stuff on there.
Very good, hard, and valuable work that someone does especially to support a cause to help a team. Okay.
Sounds like I used it perfectly.
Yeah.
Not to brag.
No offense, but I did already forget why you said that.
I was praising the editors.
Oh, yeah, yeoman's work.
What's that mean again? I've never heard that.
Thomas, I have to tell you, I did find a website recently that's free. And you can find any information on there. Any of it.
Let me find a pen.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay, just all right, I've got one.
Okay.
What's the site?
HTTPS
Okay, HTTP
colon.
All right, slow down. Backslash colon?
Colon backslash.
Okay.
Backslash. Second one. I don't want you to be confused.
Second backslash.
W. That's the letter W, not two U's. I want you to be clear.
Okay. W. Not like the band Always.
W.
Or the witch. Okay, W.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a third W.
Okay.
And then there's a period.
Okay. We're getting some punctuation in here. This is crazy.
Oh yeah, Thomas. It's wild what you can do on the internet these days.
I'm not super familiar, but it seems pretty crazy.
The letter G, as in Google.
Okay. Yes, of course.
The letter O, as in Oogle.
Okay. O.
The letter O, as in ogle. Then that's followed by the letter G, as in Google. Then that's followed by the letter L, as in lion. And finally, the letter E, as in ET.
And then it's .biz, I'm assuming.
It's actually a dot.
This sounds like a successful business.
No, you're actually going to do another period. That's the one that ends the sentence. But in this case, it's used for something else. And then the letter C.
All right, I think this bit has gone on long enough.
And then the O and then an M, as in maybe we could just get to the end of it, you know? You can't just get the... and then you click enter. It's called google.com.
And then it'll take you right there, and then it'll tell you whatever you need to know.
Whatever you need to know. Like, for example...
This is crazy. It's amazing what technology can do.
You are telling me. And they have websites now, Thomas, where you can buy shoes.
And there's advertisements?
Oh my God, Thomas. Let me tell you about the advertisements. Sometimes there's a king, and he's a fucking idiot. But if you are able to match 3 blocks, he'll swim away from a shark. So, yeah, the internet's pretty cool.
What the hell is wrong with this guy? What do you do? I gotta step in there and help.
So at the losers camp, Noelle, Sammy, and Carla agree to vote out Owen. I was pretty bummed out about this because in the Survivor Fantasy League, Owen is my MVP, and if he is out, then I probably won't win any money. Owen confronts James about lying to him, and they get in a big fight. So, Thomas, tell me about this big fight. What did you think?
You know what the way that this could have been resolved is if James had just been like, yes, I tricked you. We're going to vote for you. Like, why do you need to be like, no, and I was showing that I trusted you by telling you the wrong person to vote for, and you did it. It's like, trust is a mutual thing. Like, and you know that. Like, this was very clearly someone just... I don't get what the strategy was here. To just start shit for no reason.
Yeah, I didn't understand, especially when, like, there are so few people that are voting with you, like, at this tribal council, I mean. Because, like, I don't know, if I was in a group of 5 people who are voting together, I would try to be as small and non-confrontational as possible. Like, don't...
No, yeah, just, like, play it cool, or, yeah, just be like, sorry, we changed it kind of last minute.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get to you in time. At least come up with a convincing lie instead of just being like, no, I deceived you and you did your part by being deceived. So I think we're all square now.
I don't get it. What did you think of when they were fighting in front of everyone and Noelle asked if anybody wanted a papaya? Was that funny?
I did like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Back over at the winners camp, Jesse and Cody weigh the pros and cons of Ryan versus Cassidy. I love seeing Jesse and Cody, doing it together, voting together. Although
dynamic duo,
I wouldn't be too upset to watch them doing OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? They're a couple of cuties. Anyway.
Okay. Let's not go there.
Thomas is anti-OnlyFans now. Oh, Thomas.
This is not a horny podcast.
This is not a horny podcast. This is not the challenge chunk. Jesse and Cody, gross. Don't even tempt me with
Well, that's okay. We don't need to go that far.
I have no opinions on the appearance of anyone on the show. Which one's Jeff Probst?
I have face blindness.
Cody approaches Mr. Google to work together, and they grip one another's forearms. How did you feel when that happened? Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shaking forearms together.
2 cool guys shaking forearms. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing. Over at the losers camp, Noelle is planning on stealing Owen's vote. She's actually planning on taking out James. Pulls in Sammy and Owen, and they love this plan. This is a great plan from Noelle. I was really excited about this. And then
I feel like she's been playing kind of subtly, so it's nice to see her like get in there, mix it up.
Like, yeah, be who was saying like be a shark, but then like so you just like pop up at whatever time is necessary and nobody sees you coming.
Yeah, you just keep moving, you lurk around, and then eventually you strike.
Yeah, like Noelle saw a plan that would work, and she executed it.
Wasn't that analogy they were making when Jeff did the Jaws music? Another great Jeff bit.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
Some really good Jeff comedy this season, like that cool voice that he did.
Yeah, we're always saying, Jeff, be more mean. But what if Jeff instead was like the funny guy on the show?
That's what he's trying to. He's trying to be the class clown.
Who's the best funny guys game show hosts? Steve Harvey?
It's probably Steve Harvey, right?
Like, and he's not even the one making jokes. He's just making faces.
Yeah, he's making faces or just being
Which is like
they
often
did
the same faces
what?
that I'm making at home. So I feel seen as a viewer.
A well-timed
Greek
what
chorus.
can really
What?
spice up. What?
What? That's funny. Carla makes the pitch to Sammy to keep James, but then Sammy tells Carla the plan to take out James. I don't understand why he did this. This was unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Sammy is very more concerned about talking to the damn cameras than he is about playing the damn game.
Well, Thomas, Sammy is a performer, you know? He's been in front of a crowd. He knows how to play to an audience, and that's exactly what he's doing. He is Sammy, but don't call him Zayn.
He's too busy trying to be in the damn bloodline.
Well, it's funny you say that, because this week Sammy faced off against Butch in the quarterfinals of the SmackDown World Cup. How about that?
Pretty cool. I saw that he made Jey Uso. Corpse is the term where you laugh on camera when you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's a weekly occurrence these days. Sami Zayn lost to Butch, which this plays into the Survivor Series event taking place later this month when the Bloodline, who is, Thomas, can you name all 5 of the Bloodline members?
So it's Roman, it's the Usos, Jay and Jimmy. Mm-hmm. It's Sami Zayn. And then is Rikishi in the bloodline?
No.
Is it Rikishi?
Rikishi's third son, Solo Sikoa. Right? Rikishi is the Usos' father,
I'm not
right?
as familiar with the third Rikishi son.
Oh, well, he's brand new. He showed up at Clash of the Castle, Thomas, to help Roman Reigns beat Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, of course. Who could forget?
So
where were you when he showed up at Clash of the Castle?
I think I was watching it in the background at work, probably.
Yeah, they're like a third Uso has hit the towers.
When he showed up, he was like wearing a hood, so you couldn't see his hair, and or like he was wearing a whole hoodie, so you couldn't see his tattoos or anything. And I was like, that looks like one of the Usos, but I don't think that's one of the Usos.
There's only 2 of them.
There's only 2 Usos.
Surely there couldn't be a third.
Is there a third Uso? In fact, there is a third Uso.
He's like the third Property brother who's a magician.
Oh, shit. The Property brothers, Thomas. This is what I was going to say earlier. I saw them on an ad together for a mattress at a mattress store. Isn't that weird? They're adult brothers. If they were children, I could understand.
Were they laying down on? Was the implication that they sleep in the same bed?
It was 2 people saying buy this bed, and then there was a picture of one mattress rather.
It was them being like tucked into it. They both had like stocking caps on, and they were honk shoeing.
They had full suits on. They were honk shoeing, but
do you think they're a me or a honk shoe kind of snorers?
I think brother 1 is a me, and brother 2 is a honk shoer.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think the same goes for Jimmy and Jey Uso as well.
Jimmy and Jay, the Property brothers. That's their first names too, right?
The Bloodline is going up against... Do you know the group the Bloodline is going up against?
Probably not.
They're called the Brawling Brutes. Do you know who that is?
I really don't know who that is.
That would be Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch.
Oh yeah, the guy that ended Big E's career, Ridge Holland.
Cool that we're just continue to push him.
Ridge Holland
really
is a hilariously bad name too.
It's very funny. So all 3 of those guys are British of some sort from the United Kingdom.
They're all different
whatever.
kinds of British.
They're all different kinds of British. You know how it is. Ridge Holland's real name is Luke Menzies.
Okay. They picked a better name than Luke Menzies.
I understand why they changed that. They also changed Pete Dunne's name. He is now Butch. He's like the Scrappy Doo of the gang.
Oh, that's who Butch is. Okay,
Yeah.
I do like Pete Dunne.
Yeah. Butch is a really stupid name, but it's a pretty fun character. He just really wants to fight, like Scrappy Doo. And he's also significantly smaller than the other 2 vaguely British people. I
kind of liked him better when he was William Regal's shitty son.
Well, William Regal has new shitty sons in a new company, so sorry
That's
about
true.
it.
If he ever goes to AEW, he can go back to that role.
Yeah. So the Brawling Brutes, who have been a trio up to this point, have now added a fourth vaguely British person, Drew McIntyre. And guess
that makes sense.
Who their fifth member is going to be at Survivor Series. Of all the people in WWE going up against Roman Reigns, Jimmy Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Sammy, the honorary... Is it like Brock Lesnar? No, you have to remember it's Triple H booking this now. It's not Brock Lesnar.
All right, Triple H. Who would Triple H want? Is this person also some sort of British?
The Queen's England.
Okay, so this is a Canadian fella, maybe. Mm-hmm. Is it Edge?
It's not Edge. Again, this fifth person is going to be going up against the Bloodline, who is Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Sammy, the honorary Zayn. Who could it be? Who could the fifth person be?
Oh, is it Kevin Owens?
It's Kevin Owens, baby. Returning from injury, Kevin Owens is the fifth member.
He does like to brawl. I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. Just like Butch, just like Ridge Holland brawls so much he broke Big E's brain.
Sheamus loves to fight.
Loves to fight. If Cesaro was here, he would also be in there. That would be good. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
So this is basically their version of Blackpool Combat Club, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I mean, they don't have
this is great value, Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah. They don't have like a legendary coach or anything, but they are 3 to 4 guys who like to fight.
Blackpool Combat Club, it's not.
So that's happening, I think, next weekend, maybe the weekend after that. I'm not 100% sure. But it's going to be great because, it's all about the honoraries. Who's he going to choose? The Bloodline or his old friend, Kevin Owens, his best friend since they were kids?
I have a feeling he's going to choose the Bloodline because he's always fighting with Kevin Owens. I feel like they're estranged all the time.
Yeah, but remember, back on the indie scene, they were the best of pals.
Well, they also fought each other a lot there, too. Also, they didn't fight each other on the indie scene. El Generico is not Sami Zayn, and he died.
Oh, that's right. It's just wild because it's just, they seem so similar. I don't know.
He died when he went to go help orphans.
You know who's not dead?
Who's that?
The Wild Life. We had just one this week, wildlife shot, and it was an iguana.
Old news,
bold news, more like it. Don't ask me what that means. It's fine. The iguana's fine, It's a great shot. If there were fewer iguanas, they would be harder to get a great shot of because they would be scurrying around trying to make more iguanas. So I'm thinking that's a great point. Extinct. They're not near extinct at all. Probably least concern. That's what I'm guessing. Then let's talk about this first tribal council. Owen doesn't like that Cody peed all over the old camp. I don't know what that was a reference to.
I'm not sure either. Apparently the camp was busted, but I don't remember what he's referring to.
Did Cody pee all over the camp? Was that a scene we missed?
Maybe it was a joke. Maybe he was making a joke.
Oh, it is really funny when people piss.
Classic source of humor. Classic topic.
Classic source of humor and classic source of hydration.
See, exactly.
James talks about frustrations. Sammy says Owen and James have a lot of respect for each other. A very astute observation from a 22-year-old.
That's a really funny thing to say about people that are playing Survivor against each other. This was one thing I did like, Jeff, being like, this is like when a coach has players that are fighting and they have to downplay it and like be diplomatic about it. Just be like, they're talking things out.
Mm-hmm. Owen explains why he's upset. James and Owen rehash their argument, and Noelle shuts it down. She says, too much testosterone. What about that line? Did you love that line from Noelle?
I don't even think that's what this is. This is just a weird... an argument where one person will not just, like, admit what they're really doing.
Why didn't you just say, I was doing trick or treat? Because we're on the fall season of Survivor. And
I feel like that would have cleared everything up.
You chose trick, so I've been tricking you this whole time. Sorry. Did you not read the rules? And they said, you'll be on the fall season of Survivor of 2022.
It's like you've never watched Survivor before.
Everybody gets tricked or treated to $1 million. That's the Survivor. That should have been Ghost Island's tagline. Everybody's getting tricked or treated to $1 million. To
$1 million. That's Probst's trick.
Trust in yourself first is Carla's advice. At this point, I'm feeling like it's too obvious that Carla's going to win in the end, you know?
Yeah, she's getting a pretty heavy edit.
I'm still rooting for her, obviously, but I, as a viewer, am feeling too confident in her ability to win, which makes me nervous.
Cassidy might be... They really went hard on the Cassidy edit this episode.
You think so?
Maybe that's the background one. Well, they finally pulled out the... I was like, oh, okay, that's why they cast Cassidy. Okay.
Wait, say that again?
I said, oh, that's why Cassidy got cast, because they played that video package about how her sister died.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Noelle then uses her steal a vote on Owen. This got me thinking. Noelle, Survivor as a whole is doing a lot of fun stuff with like who can vote and who can't vote. How, and like creating a society. Living in America in 2022, we love gerrymandering. So how do you think Survivor could do gerrymandering? Do you think it's like an extension of a steal a vote where you can like steal multiple people's votes?
I think it would be... What it would be you would get put into a tribal council with like two other people, and one of the other people you wanted to vote out, and the other person also wanted to vote that person out. And so it'd be like, all right, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
And then there would be another tribal council that had everyone else.
So like this, exactly what happened?
But like if it was even more weighted. Like if one of them was a tiny tribal council and the other one was like a big one.
Yeah. Like the first 8 to finish this challenge will go to tribal council A and have a normal tribal council, and the final 3 will go to their own tribal council and vote out whoever.
Yeah, basically.
So what happens actually is everybody votes James out.
This was a savvy move because I forgot that James had the knowledge is power advantage, so they couldn't spook him. They couldn't. This was a great bit of misdirection to have him feeling safe.
Yeah, tricking all these people like Owen all this time, and now he is the one who gets tricked in the end. A Halloween irony.
Guess who won't be being treated to $1 million this year?
James.
It's James.
I was trying to remember his last name and I could not. Meanwhile, the second tribal council happens, and Jesse is shocked to see James gone. Ryan wants to talk to the others to see what happened back at camp. And then Cassidy says, the monster is hungry. That's why Cassidy got cast, because they knew she would say that.
Yeah, that, and then the, what was it, the only person that's not up for it is being protected by the golden monkey or whatever.
Yeah, which is a beer, actually, which is very funny. They should get a sponsorship.
The damn beer.
Beer these days, Thomas? Oh, buddy. There's so much of it. You think the internet is crazy. You should try craft beers.
Whoa.
That's a world unlike any other.
All right, hold on. Let me get it back. All right, anyway.
So, B as in bear. Ryan's been collecting shells so that he can have a souvenir when he's voted out. Right. I feel really bad for Ryan.
What did he do to deserve this? This is the thing. It's like the choice was like Ryan, who's not really a strategic threat, or Cassidy, who is a strategic threat. And it's like, I know who I'd vote for.
They took him out in an effort to win favor over somebody else in the game. Like, it wasn't even his own doing that got him ousted, like what's her name earlier this season. It was just
just sad to see someone who is just going through. He's not even winning a ton of challenges, so it's not like a thing where it's like we're not going to have another chance to get him out. He's trying to provide for other people, and they're just like, nah, fuck him. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, I understand why they did it, I guess, but I was sad to see it happen.
I did not like it. It was not. It just, I get that somebody's got to go, but I think the dual tribal, like if it was one tribal, I don't think he would have gone.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the double tribal so early in the merge. It just feels so awkwardly placed. Like they have 1 or 2 votes, and then they're back to tribe dynamics. It's very confusing. Do our thing, gerrymander it, or don't do it at all. There.
Agreed.
That's where I stand on Survivor.
That's where this podcast stands.
We are pro gerrymandering, and we're pro gerrymanthing. That's a joke for the old school fans. Thomas, the product placement point you requested was from Chili's. Mine was Applebee's. That has not happened yet, but I think we're getting close. Starting to smell some steak. You thought Owen would be voted out. I thought Sammy would voted out. Neither of those happened. I thought Noel would win immunity. You thought Ryan would win immunity. Neither of those happened. You thought sodas would be the reward. I thought coffee would be. Neither of those happened. You thought
I got very close. I got the runner-up on both of my picks. Because Owen was the next on the chopping block, and Ryan was 1 away from winning. So that was I was in the ballpark.
Unfortunately, Thomas, this is not horseshoes, nor is it hand grenades, so that doesn't count. You thought Sammy would win the reward. He, in fact, did not. I said Cody would, and he, in fact, did. So I got a point for that. I, of course, picked Carla at the merge. Actually, I picked Carla before the season even started, so I got a point for that. Last week, of course, I started with 24 points, so I'm now up to 26. Thomas, you said James at the merge. I think you picked James at the beginning too, right?
He was doing so well before this episode.
Playing too much chess.
And all the wheels came off, unfortunately. Should have picked Cody. I think that was the other person I was tempted to pick. I should have gone with my gut.
Well, yeah, this game is all about the gut. You last week had 28 points, and now this week you stick at 28 points. 28 points. Yeah, well, that's, you're still ahead. Of course, you can't pick another person because James was voted out this week. I'm so sorry. Of course, I'm sticking with Carla because I picked her again at the beginning of the show, and she's still with it, so I'm feeling nervous about that. Who do you think will win this next reward?
I'm going to say the Meet the Gablemans, or whatever the fuck. What's the Fablemans movie called?
I thought you were referencing the ABC show, The Goldbergs.
No, I was referencing the new Steven Spielberg movie that looks mawkish and I will not be seeing.
AI?
Yes, AI 2.
You're picking gay bi?
More artificial intelligence.
Cool. AI 2 is all about those fucking art pieces,
Exactly.
I'm sticking with Cody. He's never done me wrong. What's the reward going to be?
I'm going to say burgers.
Good call. I'm going to say chicken fingers.
Okay.
I'm just going to go to a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Man, I can't believe none of us picked that.
I know, right? It seems so...
How silly we'll feel.
What about the immunity winner? Who will it be?
I'm going to say Cody. I'm going to say Cody wins back-to-back.
Yeah, good call. I will say Jesse. Who will get voted out?
I'm going to say Noel.
Wow. I would not be surprised. I'm going to say what I said last week and stick with Sammy. I really hope he doesn't, because I want to keep telling you about Survivor Series. There's Sami Zayn, but...
What a shame it would be.
Yeah.
You'd have to wait until the jury...
Yeah.
In order to check back in.
Like, Sammy would need to really do something, like, worth noting in the episode for us to have a segment about Sami Zayn. But, Thomas, this is a different segment now, actually. Did you watch the challenge Ride or Dies last week?
I did not, Jake. We're skipping right over the Mad Libs? We're not doing the Mad Libs?
Mad Libs is at the end.
Oh, okay.
Jay and Michelle won again. Then I don't remember the challenge they did, sorry. They nominated 4 teams, all of which had a previous winner on the team of the whole show.
What are they calling Jay and Michelle? Is it like
Team Survivor,
Michelle,
I think?
Or like
Michelle.
Michelle?
Michelle. I don't know. But
Michelle's good. I think that really rolls off the tongue.
I think they just call them Team Survivor. They piss off everybody, and then Jay and Jordan get in a shouting match, and Jordan calls Jay weak, and Jay says, it's weak to call people weak. So, got him.
Yeah, that's right.
Jay and Michelle.
Jiu-jitsu there.
Jay-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jay-jitsu.
Yeah, there it is. That's much better.
Jay and Michelle send in Anissa and Jordan, then they go up against Laurel and Jack in a game where they had to throw balls at a picture of their castmates. Pretty good stuff. Anissa and Jordan won. So that means Laurel's out, and that makes me very happy because I can't stand her.
Will Anissa finally win? No. The answer is no.
She's got Jordan as her teammate, and Jordan is like 4 for 6 on wins.
Do you think maybe they were like, we got to line this up for Anissa to get a W?
Well, she did come into the show with a different partner and was like part of the initial cast.
Are they Boston robbing this? That's the question.
And then they apparently found her partner boring, and so just paired her with Jordan when they brought Jordan in. And act as if she hadn't been there the whole time.
We brought in this really, really good guy. Anyway.
If they are, who cares? I don't care. I'm happy for her. Thomas, I know what you're really here for, though, and that's the Music Minute.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
We had Young and Menace by Fall Out Boy. You know that song?
No, I don't.
It's not very good. We had Feel It Still by Portugal, The Man. You know that song?
That is one of the most mid songs ever made.
Portugal the Mid. We also had Shut Up and Let Me Go by the Ting Tings. You remember that song?
Oh my God. Yes, I do remember that. I cannot believe that has lived beyond just like a fleeting memory for anyone. It was in an iPod commercial. That's how old that song is.
That was actually going to be my first question. It was used in an iPod commercial. It was released July 21st, 2008, the song. How old would you have been July 21st, 2008? Summer
man, I was
senior year.
Nearing 17. I was 16. I was nearing 17 years old.
Oh,
for some reason, it feels like that song is older.
Couple months. I was 17 in a couple months. I don't know if you heard that. 2008? No, what? But I feel like that's exactly the time it came out.
To me, in my head, it was like 2006.
Yeah, and those are two very different years.
Well, we should probably shut up and let this go.
Good one. It was used in an ad for a product. Do you remember which?
Was it for an iPod?
Yep. I know we already talked about that. I started reading the sentence before.
It's one of there are like certain songs, like I remember like Feel Good Inc. getting used in one. I remember Jerk It Out by Caesars getting used in one. And I remember Shut Up and Let Me Go by the Ting Tings.
Vertigo. Don't forget Vertigo.
They did Vertigo, and they also did Are You Gonna Be My Girl by Jet, I think was also an iPod commercial song.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, yeah. You know how we count to like sync up our tracks at the beginning of the recording now? Mm-hmm. What about next week we, instead of counting to 10 in English, we go uno, dos, tres, catorce.
Catorce. Well, we'll never get going on the show then.
Yeah. Because we'll just be singing Vertigo the whole time.
We will be too busy being at a place called Vertigo.
So the song peaked at number 24 on the UK charts. The video features the Ting Tings performing Jiu-Jitsu, just kidding, Kung Fu, and using a variety of hand gestures to transition between the scenes. Guess how long this took to film?
7 months.
1 day.
What? No way. That doesn't sound like a one-day video shoot.
The directors called it overambitious and said the fight scenes were extremely time-consuming.
Well, they got it in 1 day, though.
Yep. That's what the phrase "got it in one" means. It was nominated for MTV Video of the Year, but lost to, do you know which song? Mr.
This
Pop
was
Culture.
2008?
2008, MTV Video of the Year, and don't Google it, now that you know what Google
Did
is.
it lose to the video for, did it lose to maybe to DANCE by Justice?
No. Do it again. I mean, guess again.
Man. 2008. What would have been, what were the hot music videos?
This person does have a very hot music video.
Was that when Single Ladies came out?
I don't think Single Ladies had come out yet. I think that was a little before Single Ladies came out.
Oh boy. Mm-hmm. How about you just tell me? I can't think of anything.
Well, it was, of course, Britney Spears' Piece of Me.
Yeah, that video we all remember.
Yeah. Remember the Toxic video?
I do remember the Toxic video.
We're in the challenge chunk now, so we can talk about the Toxic video.
She was doing secret agent stuff. She's on a plane.
She's on a plane. Very cool. On a motorcycle at another point. Do you think that maybe she was in a race in that video?
Yes, I think that one could say that.
Well, Thomas, this Mad Lib is called The Race is On in a segment called Probst Pros.
Mad Libs is telling us, welcome to Race Wars, and I am saying thanks, just like Paul Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Fast and the Furious.
Should we save this one for the first episode of Race Wars? Because I think that one's coming up. Wait, let me check the upcoming schedule. They announced the season 44 premiere. So I did, I made our upcoming schedule. Season 44 was premiering the first week of March. Okay, so Exile Island we're doing this winter. And then Race Wars is this next summer. And that is, of course, what the season
just like
is
Paul
called.
Walker in The Fast and the Furious, I am also saying thanks to that.
So we're going to save Race Wars for that season. We're going to instead focus on Tom Cruise movie War of the Worlds, which I guess was coming out when they made this book.
I saw that movie in theaters.
I did too. Did you go with your dad?
I sure did.
I went with my dad.
It was not that good.
Yes.
I remember being underwhelmed.
I agree. Thomas, can you give me a noun? For example, movie, like what Tom Cruise is in.
Cruise. As in a cruise ship.
Yes, a cruise ship. I'm just going to write the whole word so I don't get confused. An adverb. I remember in Mad Libs there was like
weirdly.
Yeah, here we go. Quick review of the different types of words. Weirdly, that's very good. A plural noun, please.
Papayas.
Oh, like Noel said.
Yeah, would anyone like some?
And a verb, please.
Strike.
Very nice. Like what I throw to MLB players. Because I'm so good at baseball. Can I get a noun, please? And then followed up with another noun?
Okay. Hat and sand.
Very good. Thomas, have you played the Falling Sand game?
No, I have not.
It's an old game from, like around the time this book was written. It's so fun. It's so mesmerizing. You can look it up on your own time. Can I get a verb?
Drive.
Mm-hmm. A number? Thomas, come on. Do a funny one.
70.
Fucking asshole.
It's so close, yet so far.
Can I get an adjective?
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Verb, please.
Hit.
Good word. Plural noun?
Boats.
I love it. And last word, and make it a funny one, please. A noun.
Clown.
That's a great
What's
call.
funnier than that?
Literally nothing. That's their whole job. Let me take a swig of water, Thomas. Tell the people what you are clicking around on in the background.
I'm not clicking on anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
All is fair in love and cruise ships and in Survivor. Tribes compete against each other fiercely and weirdly to win at challenges to gain papayas. The problem with learning to strike your tribe is that if you lose the immunity hat, hey, it's Cody. One member must get voted off the island. This is a great sand for a tribe to fight hard to drive all the challenges. It's a weird sentence, Thomas.
I think I did great. I think you're being overly critical.
To be fair, yeah, you didn't accidentally say something racist with this one, so that's good. Well,
You're right, I didn't.
So far, let's see. Once you get to day 70, the two tribes merge.
It's a long haul. That's like apparently Australian survivors like that.
Yeah, isn't there a international version that is like 5 years? Once you get to day 70, the two tribes merge, which makes it much more nice. You're fucking obnoxious.
I agree. It sounds like it.
A 69-day pre-merge. The people you used to love and hit are now your enemies. What is this about?
This is taking a turn.
Well, your rivals and boats are now in your tribe. Oh, we're doing, oh my God, Thomas. Remember earlier when we said all cars? Survivor all cars for a future simulated season?
Yeah.
Cars versus boats?
Cars versus boats. That sounds like a natural progression of the show.
Absolutely. There are so many contestant changes that you should always be prepared for a new clown. And don't trust your friends.
It's just like damn politics, am I right?
Yes. Don't trust your friends. They may be foes tomorrow. That's War of the Worlds by Jeff Probst. Thank you very much. And Thomas Powell.
I think that they should have given me another noun to put in place of foes. I think that there was another really wasted potential for humor there.
You know what? You're right. Thomas, let me get one plural noun here to finish it off.
Clowns.
I love that. Okay, I'm just looking this over, and I feel like it really has a really nice ring to it now. All is fair in love and cruise ships and in Survivor. Tribes compete against each other fiercely and weirdly to win at challenges to gain papayas. The problem with learning to strike your tribe is that if you lose the immunity hat, one member must get voted off the island. This is great sand for a tribe to fight hard to drive all the challenges. Once you get to day 70, the two tribes merge, which makes it much more nice. The people you used to love and hit are now your enemies. And
Maybe I wouldn't hit them if they didn't lose the immunity hat.
Well, your rivals and boats are now in your tribe. There are so many contestant changes that you should always be prepared for a new clown. And don't trust your friends. They may be clowns tomorrow.
Yeah, they might be that new clown.
That's really good. That's a really good one. I think best one yet.
Yeah, I think we crushed it.
Didn't even do 69 or 70.
No.
We did do 70.
It's about the jokes I'm not making. It's about the numbers I'm not saying.
It's like jazz or chess. It's about the moves you're not making. Or trying to talk to a girl when you're 16 years old and have never touched a girl before. It's about the moves you're not making. Thomas, you're still on Twitter.com, yes?
You better believe I am.
How exciting for you. I'm glad you know about Google now, so you can go there in case Twitter goes down.
Yeah, I'm going to get on Twitter for the first time. Is anything happening on there?
I love the idea of anytime I have to tweet, just going to Google instead and typing out your tweet instead of the inverse when you mean to go to Google and accidentally go to Twitter and then just have like a tweet that says papayas. So what is your Twitter if people were to follow you?
You can follow me at Tom Not Tom.
You can follow the
I'm there till the bitter end.
Follow the show at DYWSLN. DYWS Elon, more like. Because Elon Twitter.
Good one.
Elon Twitter runs the website now. Instagram is another safe haven for us because we're Mark Zuckerberg fans. Suck the Zuck, you know?
Yeah, I heard that they had legs and they no longer have legs. Very sad.
Instagram?
No, Meta, they had legs, and now they don't have legs no more.
Oh, that's like a metaphor for the business plan. It did have legs when people were like, wow, Mark Zuckerberg, smart guy. But then...
Maybe you should go work for them. I think...
Yeah, why not?
I think this kind of insight could have really helped.
Yeah, put me on the board. And my insight will always be, I'm bored. Do I have to be at this meeting?
Yeah. I wish I was on a website, but not ours.
Have you guys heard of websites these days? One of my favorite...
Have you guys heard of Google? You should do that.
One of my favorite websites is patreon.com/justpodcast. That's where we do all of our bonus content. And you can pay for it there. We have a few tiers. Thomas, what's your favorite tier? What's your favorite tier on the...
What's my favorite tier?
Yeah.
I gotta go Just Joey, the classic, you know?
Just Joey, yeah.
I'm itching to watch Joey. I just really, really want to watch it.
We really need to go find the DVDs somewhere. I'm sure they can't be hard to find.
Well, not until.
Do you want to thank these listeners for listening?
I would love to thank the listeners. Thank you for listening.
And
it's really the least you could do, but thank you.
And what is something they could do if they wanted to do more for us?
Well, you could leave a 5-star review, or if you paid money, you could leave a lower star review. But if you're still trying to coast, you know, get a free lunch, then 5 stars, and make sure that you say, "This is my favorite podcast. I like it better than all the other podcasts. I give it a big thumbs up." Spotify is corrupt. Otherwise, I would say I look forward to seeing this in my Spotify Wrapped.
And also, if you can mention, like, I don't know, like if you know us in real life, if we smell good. Because I did literally take a shower.
It really wouldn't hurt. It would
this.
Definitely, you'd be doing us a solid if you were like, I've met these guys and they smell great.
Yeah. If you like made a previous review, you could even go back and edit it to be like,
Go and edit it, maybe update. I was mistaken.
I haven't smelled good.
These guys smell very good.
I haven't met them in real life, but I know they smell good.
I was thinking of someone else.
Yeah. There's another Jake and Tom I know from Rockford High School that graduated in 2009, but it turns out they actually didn't win the Best Friends Award, and they are the ones that smell bad. They're Survivor podcast.
I don't think we need to slander other Jake and Toms for this one. I think it can.
That's fair.
I don't think anyone needs to name names here.
No names, but some people don't smell good.
Not us though.
We smell good. We use different types of soap together.
We don't smell good. We smell great.
Yeah, we use different types. We use different types of soap. That's all I'm trying to say. You and I use different types of soap, but the thing is, they both smell good. I'm using a lavender Dr. B's now.
Still just using the regular blue Dove body wash. It's doing the trick.
Yeah, doesn't matter if it's a blizzard outside or just a little bit of snow, or perhaps
it could be a heat wave or a blizzard. I'm wearing the blue.
Perhaps even a nice summer day, Thomas. Have a great summer.
Deuces. Blueses.
Blueses. That's good. That's really good.
What more do you want? I mean, you know, like sometimes if brevity be the soul of wit, to quote the bard, then I don't remember the rest of that quote, but I'm sure that it applies to this situation.
Big Shakespeare day for us.
Yeah,
More
that's
Shakespeare
right.
quotes in Survivor, let's be honest.
You know, Survivor is. I think that there should definitely be. Jeff Probst should get in on that and just be like, this show's pretty, and this show's pretty Shakespearean if you think about it too, right?
What's
When you make people talk about it at tribal council.
What's the West Side Story based on? Isn't that based on a Shakespeare play?
It's based on Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, duh. I was like, what's the story about the two families that go at each other?
Dum dum.
The most famous one. What about a season of Survivor based on Romeo and Juliet, or perhaps maybe even another Shakespeare play? I don't know what other Shakespeare play would like has two teams just naturally built in though.
Yeah, both two tribes, both alike in dignity. And
joke, but I
Fair
actually really
Fiji,
wanna
where
do
we
this.
set our scene.
Okay, what were the Montagues' whole deal? And we can get my fiance to guest host this one because she, you know, is an English teacher and knows how to read.
I just think they were both well-to-do families. I don't really remember any specifics beyond that. They just were like two old, money, well-to-do families that didn't like each other.
Okay, I'm gonna Google cantaloupes.
And it was taking place in Fair Verona.
Oh, Montagues versus Capulets is actually a song by Sergei Prokofiev. Yeah, okay, so what's the difference? Britannica kids. What's the story? I know the story. The two kids fell in love with each other and then they accidentally died because they were so in love.
Yeah, because they're dumb kids.
Capulets can be described as the more cold and domineering family in comparison to the Montagues, who are more gentle and less aggressive. Okay. So we could make two tribes of that.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
But-
it would be great for them to really commit to that. Where would they? I guess they would have. Maybe they could have it on like an Italian, like an island off the coast. They could do it on like Corsica. They could do it where Napoleon was exiled.
Yeah, make it an Exile Island season.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh shit. I was joking, but that's actually a really good idea because the next off season we're doing is Exile Island. So.
Okay. Could be a simulated season in there. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Do you know the year that it was published, Romeo and Juliet?
1974.
Yeah, how did you know that?
Yeah, back then, you know, advent of color TV, and William Shakespeare got behind his typewriter. Smarten up, Probst.